Hi friends, how are you? So I really wanted to get some higher level messages to you today. And for people who are victims of this trafficking network, who are victims of these crime groups, who are targeted individuals, it's really hard for us to just like get into those higher places of being, the higher realms, because we are under like constant control. For them, it's really about control, tracking us, owning us. A lot of their systems are nanotech bot systems, and it is about just like entrapping their enemies however they can and lowering their vibration, lowering their energies. And they have hundreds of teams, okay, doing this to their victims right now. A lot of the stuff in the media with the victims of Epstein coming forward feels like another propaganda staged event. Be careful of everything you are watching. Don't get sucked into it. One of the main messages I have gotten is that you have to remember that these people, you know, the Bill Barrs of the world, okay, the Donald Trumps of the world, the Putins of the world, they have teams to make it look like we're about to have a win, okay? But they also have teams to shut that win down in the last hour. In the 11th hour, they will make sure that we don't get that win. So it's literally about them creating a false sense of hope. It is in itself its own collective U.S. military torture program, okay? And they did it with us with the Mueller investigation. They did it with us with the elections. They've done it with us many times now with different bills in Congress. It's to make it look like we're about to have a win. And then in the 11th hour, they freaking put the kibosh on it. And like magically, it just falls apart and they get what they want. That's all operations. I have gotten that it is directly connected to the 9/11 teams in Manhattan, okay? And it is like deep state CIA. The deep state CIA is still operating. They're operating out of Texas. They've been operating this whole time. And they have their generals in place. And their generals are demonic. And even if they're stripped of their ranks and whatever, they still have their freaking teams working for them however they're having their teams working, okay? They're working with them remotely. They're working with them through nanotech. They're working with them through crime groups. However they can do it, they will figure it out, okay? That's just who they are. So, you know, the level of desperation of this group is very insane, okay? And I have witnessed it firsthand every single day. They tried killing me while I was sleeping last night in another dimension. They shot me in the head, and it was like a lot of teams against me. I could see who the people were involved with the military tech. I could see who they were. They got involved. It looks like some kind of like street cartel, some kind of a street group who's in crime or owned by some kind of a boss or something like that. And they bribed them very easily with dumb shit. Like they promised them like a movie role or things like that. So, you know, they're very desperate right now. It's just a low level operation, but there was a lot of people involved. It was like a lot of layers of probably like QAnon cops and, you know, QAnon feds, and, you know, they had all their freaking martial law guys involved in it. They had teams making it look like they were going to protect me, but they were in on it. It was like a full-blown shit show operation that I had to go through at 3 in the morning. I believe it was around 3 in the morning. It's not something I deserve. It's not something anyone should have to experience. Going through that level of like fear and panic, like there's this ringing going off in my ears, like high-pitched ringing. It's like alarm bells going off. Certain systems were breaking. You know, it was like a total fucking chaos shit show that I did not need to deal with, on top of wondering if they're gonna come after me like on the ground, okay? There's still shooting at me in my energy field within the place I was staying. And it was just completely just fucking insane, like unnecessary and insane. And a lot of those operations too is also them trying to figure out who is protecting me, which is also super dangerous. And, you know, everything that is going on with me is so fucking nuts and so insane. And you have to think of the level of their mental illness and their mental state to even think of doing this to somebody, and the level of the layers of teams and operatives that are doing this and where their brains are at, because none of it makes any sense. Going after me, protecting the country doesn't make any sense. Okay, I'm here for the country, and I know what the enemy has planned for the country, and they're going after me. Like, none of it actually makes any sense. But for them, they're getting a carrot dangled in front of their face. For them, it's a movie role. For them, it's something else, okay? For them, it's something that they would never even believe could happen or come into their reality, and takes them out of their misery temporarily. And then half of them ended up getting busted anyway. And so I'm like, how are we this dumb? Like, how are we this dumb? Like, we're falling for fucking Scientology setup operations and shit. Like, I really, like, can't understand the level of this insanity that's happening on U.S. soil right now. But, you know, it's not the first time that this has happened. This team really gets off on getting people who actually care about me to betray me, and dangling carrots in front of them, you know, putting in front of them specific, you know, women, and again offering them monies and things that they would like love to have, and then they love to watch them betray me and then throw it in my face like, no one would ever love you, Amy, no one would ever care about you, Amy. And, you know, it is just demonic stuff that they've done to me. And they haven't done it once. It's almost every day. You know, to think about this type of stuff in boardrooms and come up with this stuff in meetings it's demonic. It's a psychosis. And I don't know if we are now entering into the mental illness phase of these leaders and elites and who they are, and our military. But it feels like we're entering into their full-blown wounding right now, because people like me should never be put in situations like this ever. But because of these weapon systems, now we are like stuck in their mental illnesses right now. We are stuck in it. We have to experience and live their mental illnesses every minute of every day. Okay, that's what people who are victims of them are experiencing. And I got full-blown warnings. Okay, I got warnings in emails that I would become human trafficked just like Britney Spears. And I know it's the same crew. I know it's the same group. I know it is for a fact. I know who they are. And we all witnessed Britney get trafficked and owned. Okay, we watched it happen through this elite network. We watched it all. You know, she had interviews saying she felt like she was a caged animal. You know, she had interviews where you could see the sadness in her eyes. You know, we watched her shave her head or whatever she did. We watched her have the same outbursts. We watched it. We all watched it. And these people are still doing it. They're still doing it. So I'm going to try to just see, like, I just want to get messages right now around this. There is a very deep level of sadness coming out right now. There's a lot of regret. There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of people who might have had good intentions that ended up hurting good people because they took the carrot. You know, they took the freaking carrot. They fell for the carrot. You know, a lot of my questions have been, why wasn't the DOJ schooling feds and cops on this enemy? Why weren't they schooling them on the Russians? Why weren't they schooling them on how demonic they were and how they would freaking dangle carrots in front of your face and lure you in, okay, in this way? Why weren't they trained in this type of warfare. This is the type of stuff I've been wondering for a really long time. You know, when people are coming up, when Christopher Wray is the director and he's talking with Five Eyes, with Condoleezza, and they're saying there's this type of technology, the DNA technology, they're aware of it. Why isn't he schooling people on how to negate it in some way? Why isn't he doing anything but the bare minimum? And then that's when I wonder, why are we not rising in a way that is ethical? And why are our cops and feds having to play double agents and join in with this freaking mental sickness? Why is our country joining in with it instead of separating themselves out? Why are they so afraid to stand in their truth and in their power and in their ethics? A lot of them feel mind controlled to me. I'm not even going to lie. A lot of them feel like they're under mind control. Like a lot of these feds I've interacted with through these portals, they feel mind controlled. Like they've forgotten who they are. Like they're not even like in their own body anymore. Like they're like, they have crossed so far over the line of just human rights and ethics laws that they are like, they're honestly thinking like I'm the Antichrist in their minds. And then they get like a wake-up call and they're like, wait a second, what am I doing? Who am I? Like, it's literally like they're mind controlled. And yet there's commands going out to stop all of the freaking Mike Flynn mind control operations. There's commands going out to shut down the mind control. You know, if that's the thing that's affecting our DOJ, or if that's what's affecting our justice, why hasn't that been shut down? And I'm not like super fair in the way that Joe Biden was fair. But I do try to give people the benefit of the doubt in terms of, were they victims themselves? You know, how did they get Bill Gates? How did they get these players? What happened to them? I am curious about it. I have tried to liberate people within the Justice Department. I've tried to liberate them. I've tried to, free them with the right information in terms of, if you're a victim, come forward. You can, whistleblow. Don't go to their meetings. Don't attend their meetings. If they threaten your job, don't let them threaten your job. I have tried to be an advocate for them if they were doing the right thing, or liberate them. I mean, my whole channel is about liberating people. My whole channel was giving them a freaking, literally a handbook on what the hell we were getting attacked by every single day. And yet their directives are, stay away from her channel. Do not watch her videos. She has self-inflicted this herself. She's the reason they're going after her. Just all lies, all delusional lies. Our country went under attack. Our country went under attack. And if there were people who were able to get out the right messages to the right people, then they went under attack. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't put myself in this position. Many women, many people were stepping up to the plate when we saw what was happening to our country. Many people stepped up, and many of those people went under attack. But the gaslighting going on within the DOJ is disgusting. It is disgusting. It is demonic, and it is criminal. It is criminal gaslighting. We are true on victims of military Russian operations in coordination with corrupted, treasonous U.S. generals. And that's the truth. That is the freaking truth. And, I know that the feds have their own, the military is the military and we stay away from the military. And, they have their own little thing. But when we are saying over and over again that we are under attack, you're hearing Mayday every single day in these portals since 2 years ago. And you're getting commands, every man for themselves. Why aren't you honoring the freaking commands? You know, and I can't even get the information out. I can't even get it out because they shut down my channel since 2021. I have a paid and bought audience. I can't even get the fucking chain of command out. I can't even get the messages out because they figured it out. So instead, my country attacks me. You know, I don't think half of my country knows what's been going on behind the scenes. And this is the real war, the real truth, the real reality of what's happening is what I experience every single day. Every single day. And then we have all these little sideshows that are completely staged and planted. Okay? These little sideshows that we're almost going to get the information we need. We're almost going to get this. It's not going to do anything. And I'm telling you that straight up. If we don't have a working DOJ, it doesn't matter. If we cannot have a freaking regular trial without it being staged and bought, there is no more justice on U.S. soil. And that's just common sense. That is just common sense. Now, these feds have been told not once, not twice, not 3 times to stop all operations, to stop their investigations, and to follow commands. And every day they act like it is just business as usual. Now, on the back end, there have been a lot of things that have come in around the schools. There have been people that have been gravely concerned about the children. They have been told we should be shutting down the schools right now. They're not safe with this technology. You know, they have watched the progression of the Russians come into the area where I am with my children. They understand the dangers involved, and they're not following the commands. They're not telling the American people the truth. They're still gaslighting us because all of those people in those roles are paid and bought right now, or falsely appointed by staged elections. I wish I could I want to scream at the top of the rooftops to shut down the schools right now. I want to scream and shut down all of the offices. I want Wall Street shut down. I want everything shut down. And not because I'm vindictive and not because I want my country to go broke, but because I understand the murder operations that are happening right now and the trafficking operations. And I understand what their plans are and how deadly they are. And if we don't shut down these operations, and we don't shut down Wall Street, and if we don't shut down these systems, it is deadly for our country. There are CIA spies saying they have to leave the country right now with their family. They're ready to take a freaking sellout paycheck for $500,000 to go after me just so they can get their family out of the country right now. It's a sad state where we're at. It's very sad where we're at right now. So, you know, there's a lot of lies, a lot of gaslighting. A lot of them, they pretend that they have the money. They're the money. There are agendas in the works for the country to give us money without murdering people. But you have to do the right thing. You have to follow the commands. So I have the card Strength coming in right now. Strength is the message I'm getting. You know, not letting the weeds in. You know, not letting the fucking weeds into your freaking garden. I've done everything I could to try and protect American people through these portals. And all I feel like I've gotten back is attacks on my life. You know, and I don't understand it. I can understand that people protecting me go under attack by this crew the way I go under attack. But you have to know that I have gone through every single one of their attacks just like you. I'm right there alongside of you all. I'm right there next to you. I'm going through the same thing. I've been going through it for 4 years now. Physical, military weapon attacks on my life. Torture programs. You know, U.S. military thinks it's funny to throw me into combat. Okay? They think it's funny to put military systems on my head and put me in the middle of a freaking war zone through their freaking AI military systems. And every day, they're trying to infiltrate the good people. Every day, they're trying to do it. Every freaking day. So anyways, I guess, you know, try to stay true to yourself, stay in your strength, and don't fall for the freaking carrot, man. Don't freaking fall for their fucking carrot. It's all lies. I've been around the people that have fell for it. They deeply regret it. They deeply regret it. And many of them get trapped further. So there is no winning with this enemy. There is no winning joining them. There is no winning. So I will leave you guys there. I will talk to you guys soon. Take care. And thanks for all of your love, your prayers. And hopefully we can come together during this horrific time. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.